Hello and welcome to the Wellness Journey podcast with me, Rhi Bowden.
And me, Suzanne Williams. And this is the last episode of season 4, which has been all about new beginnings. And we have the lovely Emma from Sanctuary Wellness joining us today. Fabulous guest.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
So can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself first of all?
Yeah, so I'm the founder of Sanctuary Wellness, and it's basically an holistic practice where we offer yoga, mindfulness, energy therapies and coaching for women who suffer with anxiety and imposter syndrome.
And where are you based?
In Neath.
Fabulous. So how long has Sanctuary Wellness been about?
So Sanctuary Wellness was founded last year, as it is a Sanctuary Wellness, and I've been an holistic practitioner for 5.5 years now. So yeah, awesome. So it's just grown into Sanctuary Wellness over the period of time.
Oh, it's amazing. And you do beautiful retreats and classes and workshops.
Yes.
Where are you off in a few weeks' time?
Ibiza. Taking some beautiful women on a journey around the island.
Beautiful. That's the wellness
spring
journey.
Vibes.
Encapsulated. Love it. That's beautiful.
And Ibiza is a special place for you, isn't it? You've spent quite a bit of time in Ibiza. Do you want to tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in 2022, I give up everything here in Wales and moved to Ibiza for the summer season. Worked on a yoga retreat and just loved it out there. Went on a healing journey myself, and then at the end of the season I hosted my own retreat out in Ibiza, and that was just magical, and it was just lovely to be on such a sacred piece of land with all the crystal and not so much the club inside, because everyone thinks of Ibiza as a party. It's definitely a yin-yang island, so you can have the best of both really. If you want to go and enjoy, you can, or you can just come and do the holistic healing and the spiritual side.
And what was the why did you go and do that? Why did you make that decision?
Because in 2019 my daughter passed away from cancer, so she had a relapse in 2018, and I was in university at the time, and I had to give up university for a year after she passed away, and then I decided to go back in the September because I thought I need a goal. So then for the next 2 years it was all about just getting through uni, looking after my son, and I think by the time it got to 2021, when I finished uni, I was like, I just need to be nothing to anyone. So my son trained and went to the Marines in 2022, and that's when I decided I was going to leave as well and just give it all up.
Start a new beginning.
Yeah, I really saw my attachment. I think that's what grief teaches you. It teaches you to not be attached to things, because the things you were attached to have gone as well. So it teaches you to detach much quicker than you would if you just hadn't experienced child loss. That's my personal journey anyway.
And this is a huge journey that you've been on.
Yes.
And the new beginnings have come from different places.
Yes, different places. And I feel it's just been cycles throughout my life, but this cycle has been a really big transformation to go, obviously from having 2 children to one passing away. And you do have to find yourself again, and also becoming single as a single mum as well during that time. It was quite intense.
Lots going on.
Lots. So I really needed to go and just find me again. You lose yourself, and you try to be everything to everyone all the time, especially when you're grieving, because as a mother you have to look after your children. Even though you've lost one, you still have to look after my son, but I had to look after myself at some point, and that was my time. When I knew he was safe and he was well and he was doing something he loved, I knew I could go and do the work I needed to do then.
Do you feel, see that you're teaching from a place of nowhere now, aren't you, as well as from, the lovely courses we can all go on?
Definitely.
What do you believe that, how does that show? How does that shine? What do you feel?
I feel I just offer I offer my heart to people who come to my classes. Or if I teach because I teach in a local gym as well, which I love, I offer the same class there that I would offer on a retreat. I don't teach any different. I try to give as much as possible because I believe in yoga we do seva, exchange of energy, so you have to do something, selfless act. So I try to give as much back as I can because I think that's part of my healing.
Yes.
It might be selfish as well, I get something from it, seeing other people just going on a journey, because I think, it's beautiful to see people stepping into a healing journey and owning their journey, not blaming others, and accepting that it's okay to feel this way, because acceptance is part of healing.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Acceptance. Without it, we carry a huge thing with us, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
If we cannot accept or let go of something, it's huge.
Yeah, and grief teaches you that, I think, as well. Especially child loss. I think it's a different kind of grief, because I've lost friends over the years. I lost one of my best friends when we were 19, so I've experienced loss from a young age. But I think child loss is, you've carried that baby for 9 months, and and you've got you've got goals for them, or you want to see them thrive, and just do the things you didn't do as well. So when that's taken away, it's another. It's an intense time. So you do have a rebirth. You really do have a rebirth. That's what I feel.
Wow,
happens.
that's a nice word. Rebirth. When you went into this new beginning, did you have intentions like, well, this time round, I'm going to do this. Well, this time round, I'm going to experience it. Was there any way of seeing what this new version of you was going to...
No, because I feel I just said yes to things. When my fears were like, no, you're not doing that. I was like, well, I need to do it then, because my mind is telling me no.
Yes.
I'm going to do it. And that's how I've approached everything. I've just put myself in situations where I'm going to curl up in a ball most of the time and hide from the world. But I feel the more you do that, the more you build confidence. And every year I try to challenge myself. So like last year was a skydive. I'm scared of heights, so I was like, right, I need to do a skydive. And I was up on the plane thinking, what am I doing? I've got to jump out. And then the guy just was like, right, we're going to hover over the plane. And I was like, no, that's my worst fear. But I just did, and I was like, oh my God, I'm up in the sky.
I'm going to jump out of a plane.
Yeah. So it's just doing something every year.
That's amazing.
This year I'm doing 10 of Anne again. I did it in 2017. Meg was still in treatment, and she climbed it for one climb with us, with Dreams and Wishes charity, which was beautiful. And I managed 8 climbs that time. So this time I want to do it for me, because I was doing it for her last time, to try and inspire her to push through all the pain. So I'm going to do it for me this time and try and get the 10, just to know that I can, I can do it mentally. Yeah. So that's my big one for this year so far.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Lots of resilience there, isn't there?
Yeah, and it takes you to a dark place. You climb up and down that mountain 10 times.
I bet it takes
it's
you
horrific.
to a dark. Wow.
But I guess what you've built up by doing that, by pushing yourself and taking yourself out of your comfort zone, that's what gives you that sort of oomph to carry on in life, and oomph to get out of bed when you just want to put the covers over yourself.
Definitely.
And so I think all of that, it interlinks, doesn't it? It strengthens, body, mind, spirit. It's the whole package, isn't it? When you go and put yourself in these uncomfortable situations.
It really is. And I think I remember when Meg passed away, just getting out of bed in the morning, I had to really force myself. And I remember contacting uni, and I was like, I want to come back in September, because she passed away in the February of 2019. And I contacted them in the May. I was like, no, I want to come back in September. And they're like, oh, so maybe it's too soon. She hasn't been gone that long. And I was like, no, I need a goal. I need purpose. And I have no purpose right now. And then when I committed to starting back, I started crystal healing therapy, and then I trained as a practitioner. Then I went on to Reiki. Then I went on to yoga. All while I was doing my degree, and everyone was like, you're mad. Then I was cooking for everyone during lockdown. And yeah, I had 5 jobs.
Yeah. Wow.
But I was like, right, that's
You're very purposeful then.
Was that distraction though part of your coping strategy?
Definitely flight or fight. So I was still in flight or fight mode until the end of 2022. I went to India in 2023 and I just dropped into my parasympathetic nervous system and I was like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
No, I felt horrible.
Yeah,
and I've been in there now for coming up to 2 years now. Now I'm coming out of this feeling, but I didn't like it because I've been living in my flight or fight since I was a teenager.
Yeah. You knew it.
That was my comfort, and now to be in this feminine energy of just being okay. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah.
And I've gone through challenges the last 2 years, just trying to adapt to not being this person I was previously.
Yeah. It is. It's often when people are going through changes and then you show them calm or you show them still, that it absolutely terrifies them.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Definitely.
Please don't show me calm. Please don't show me still.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Because the busy is that energy of distraction and being in it is a big place.
It keeps you going, you know, and you crave it as well. You're always craving the next thing, and
I mean, it's been very useful
Oh,
to get through.
it got me
those
through.
horrendous times.
Definitely, it really did. And I think I found yoga at the right time. So for me, then it was studying all the time with yoga. So I was having the calm, but I got to the next qualification.
Yes.
And then I did another 300-hour training, and I was like, right, this is the final
I think
one.
I'm okay now. I know.
Yeah, and I did it at the same time as my masters last year, and I was like, what am I doing again? But I stepped into that old version. She came back, and I was like, no, you know, this is enough now. There's no more training.
I know what I need
for
to
a while.
know.
Yeah, you just. That's it. You've got to recognise your patterns, and they do creep back because we're human, and
Of course they do, especially when we're vulnerable.
Definitely.
We hold on to the old ones and
Yeah.
we're like, oh, come back. 'Cause
I know you. She breaks free every now and then.
Yeah. She leaps out.
So what could you say to any of our listeners that are maybe on that treadmill at the moment of distraction and doing lots of things? Could you give them some advice or?
Yeah, I think the best thing is to slow down, but to find one thing. So don't try and do everything, because we all have this thing, I need to do this, and then I need to do that, say for example, I need to go to yoga, I need to do meditation, I need to journal, I need to
all
go
together
to different
at the same
therapies,
time.
and it's too much, the mind is just too much, and we're overstimulated with social media, and it's so much readily available for us now, so it's limiting distractions as much as possible, and just doing one thing, and stick to that one thing. That's what I tell my clients, it's like, stick to one thing, try and do that for 3 weeks, and then that becomes your habit, then bring in something else, then that becomes your habit, and then before you know it, you look back and you're like, oh wow, I've come so far.
Yes.
And it's been effortless, because when we have to put effort into it, that's when we become tired.
Yes.
So you need to make it as easy as possible.
Absolutely, isn't it? And then there's less self-sabotage then, isn't it? Because your brain is like, oh, this is gentle, I don't mind this.
You're nurturing that, and that's the feminine energy. It's the nurturing energy, and it's stepping into it, but still you need the fire energy as well, because that's what gets you through. But just being kind to yourself and not putting too much pressure, because there's pressure from everywhere.
Oh yeah.
You know, to be everything to everyone all the time. We can't.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think the what you're saying about making things easy, but also if you link it to an existing habit, then it becomes even easier. So if it's like, oh, when I'm making my coffee in the morning, I will sit and journal while the kettle's boiling or while the coffee's, whatever. You can just link it to something that you do.
Definitely.
Or, if you're brushing your teeth, you can be, doing some, like standing on one leg, doing some core stuff, balance stuff while you're brushing your teeth. So whatever it is that you want to do, just link it to something that you're already doing that is a habit for you.
Yeah.
And then it makes it easier.
Isn't it habit stacking?
Yes.
I think James Clear in his book Atomic Habits says, do it with someone you do, isn't it? Because it's so much easier and you're less likely to go, well, I can't do anything now. I'm giving it all up.
And it becomes a ritual in your life, a non-negotiable then. You're like, no, this is what I do. For me, it's journaling. It's always journaling. I've done it for 15 years. And it's the one thing that gets me out of my mind. And it's
I
just
love
my non-negotiable. I've got books and books and books. But
When do you do that?
first thing in the morning. So it's I light a candle, just get my journal. I use tarot as well, tarot cards, but that's not for everyone. And I just write, and then I just write whatever's there's no expectation. Some days it's 2 sentences because I really don't want to write. I don't want to feel something a particular day. But then that's fine as well. People
That's
think
really cool, yeah.
yeah, you haven't got
Don't
to write
have
pages
to do
and
5
pages.
minutes of journaling every day, like a
just-
robot. Like,
No. Exactly. Some days you don't want to write,
Yeah.
and that's okay as well. You don't need, there's no expectations, and that's the thing. It's not putting pressure on
I
yourself.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I think on the healing journey, if people feel that they need to, I have to journal at 7 in the morning, at 7:30 I have to meditate,
Yeah.
and there's no you in that.
No,
And that's hard. It doesn't feel nice, does it?
it doesn't. It's that routine again. Then you're giving yourself like time scales, and
Yeah.
sometimes no time is better. It's just turn up
And just
and
be.
just do you.
Yeah.
When
like
you
that.
feel ready, and for some people it's the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different times in the
Yeah.
day. I'm a morning person naturally. I like to get up early. I don't
That's
function in the evening. So I know but that's the thing,
For
it's
you,
learning
that's you.
about yourself as
Yeah.
well. When you function better. Like I do my best work first thing in the morning. In the evening, you have nothing up to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm like,
I'm done.
zombie.
I love that.
Well, it's been so lovely speaking
been
to you today. It's
amazing.
been wonderful. And we always set an intention or maybe an affirmation for the week, something for our listeners to, think about for the week ahead. Can you share maybe an affirmation or an intention with us, please?
An intention that I use is say yes.
Oh, I love that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love
Say
that.
yes.
Say yes. So when fear comes up, you're like,
Yeah, and
yes.
the fear is the excitement and fear are exactly the same. So
Absolutely.
your body knows no different, so just do it. Feel that excitement, feel that
love
fear.
that. Say
Yeah.
yes. That's
Yeah.
amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I love
So
that.
maybe this week you're going to say yes to something that you wouldn't have before, and that's exciting, isn't it? And maybe share it with us. Share it with us in the comments. Thanks for comments last week on Dan's lovely podcast. We really appreciate them. Share it with us, and if you haven't already, follow us or subscribe us. Share the love in this world.
Yes.
Oh,
So
thank you, Emma.
send in love as always. Thank you so much for joining
thank you
us.
for having me.
Amazing. And remember, you are awesome. Absolutely, always. Thank you.
Send in love.